Hi. Okay, quick reset. Um, it's been 6 months since I uploaded anything on this channel, and it's not because I disappeared or quit the series. I was actually running a hypothesis.
How you feeling? You feel all right?
In that time, the digital backdrop from my last video became a physical painting.
Barely hanging by a thread over a tsunami.
I moved from Mumbai to Madrid. And while I was in the process of unbecoming and becoming amongst changing perspectives, friends, and environments, I think I have religiously committed to the morning pages and also taken myself out on a few artist dates. I have dived more into the philosophies these books discuss, and I've also tried to lock in and look at creativity not as an output but as a way of being. So, what follows is not advice, it's not self help, it's not me being preachy, but it's just an update on how far I've come in my journey and all the realizations I've had along the way. Creativity is not something you invent, but something you allow. At first, I hated this idea because it's so anti grind and passive. But then I realized that the best ideas often come to me when I least expect them, in the shower, while walking, in my sleep, at 3 a.m. And the point that I'm trying to make is that Rick Rubin invites you to think of yourself as an antenna. So if you're an antenna of a radio machine, you have to adjust yourself to different frequencies before you can receive a signal. The universe is in a constant state of creation, and art is a natural byproduct of that flow. Ideas already exist out there and arrive when their time has come. If you don't act on one, it may appear through someone else, not because it was stolen, but because that idea was ready and they were open to receive it. So, frequency over force, and the best creative state is the state of openness. You don't chase ideas, you make space for them. Overthinking, analysis, and prediction block your reception, but stillness attracts. And I think this connects so eerily to Jung's concept of the collective unconscious. It's the psychic field of archetypes that pre exist the individual. I like to think of it like the mycelium network. You know how every mushroom in a forest is connected through this hyper integrated loop of networks that run through from inside the soil. It's kind of weird, but you need to look into it. I feel that consciousness operates the same way. And Jung argues that artists do not invent ideas out of nothingness, they simply just tap into them. So I think the point Rick Rubin tries to make is a deeper understanding of the human psyche. And to arrive to that, you must understand that um, ego and separation exists only in the human mind, but nature does not operate that way. We've been sold a lie. We cannot propel capitalism to function the way it does if we do not operate out of an ego. But the moment you step out of it and try to approach the idea of creativity not through effort, grind, or being different, but simply by just tapping in, I think I think that's when you start to evolve as an artist. So I've stopped asking myself how do I create better ideas, and I've started asking myself how do I tap into the right frequency. I love referring to this diagram whenever I feel out of balance, and I think it's a good way to assess yourself in terms of where you are with energy, frequency, and vibration. Creativity does not belong to you, it moves through you. It's impersonal. You're a medium, not the owner. Art is not self expression alone. It's the translation of something universal into form. And I think this is radical and so deeply aligned with Eastern philosophies. Um, think of it like Tao. In Taoism, energy is not created, it flows. The sage does not act, he practices the art of Wu Wei, which is effortless alignment with what is already unfolding. In physics, this resonates with the quantum field theory, where particles are not objects but they are excitations of underlying fields. Creativity begins with noticing. Here's the problem: You live in a world of infinite content, infinite opinions, and infinite comparisons. Your antenna is already loaded. Tarkovsky calls this spiritual noise. And Gen Z, we're taught to brand ourselves even before we know who we are. Anytime you feel like you aren't coming up with something cool, remember that you're not empty, you're overstimulated. The artist, you, are a vessel through which ideas pass. But your personality, taste, history, trauma, they form the filter. The filter is not a flaw. They make your work super specific and unique to you. Here we refer to Kant. He argues that we do not access reality as it is, but it is filtered through our apparatus of perception. Wong Kar-wai didn't invent longing. Kubrick didn't invent psychological dread. Frank Ocean didn't invent emotional fragmentation. Tyler the Creator didn't invent chaos. Kanye didn't invent extremism. They had certain inclinations in their filters that allowed them to perceive reality through that lens.
Shall I give love another try?
Okay, morning pages. 3 pages of handwritten stream of consciousness writing done first thing in the morning. They exist to empty mental static, neutralize self criticism, bypass the rational mind, and access the subconscious. They're not meant to be good. They're meant to be honest. Morning pages allow the logic brain to step aside and the artist brain to have fun. Don't think of it as self expression, think of it as self evaluation, because the more you write it down, it's like untangling these headphones into a linear line, right? Like when you're thinking your thoughts, you're constantly running into circles and never coming to the conclusion of anything. It's like a spiral going on and on in your head. But when you finally write things down on paper, you give your thoughts a linear structure. And as you study that linear structure over time, you start to evaluate where you're going. And while the morning pages are a brain drain, the artist date kind of feeds it with the good shit. Think of it as a weekly solo block of time spent doing something playful, curious, or creative with no output requirement. There doesn't have to be a reason for you to do it, or something that you can make of it. It could be you just cooking a meal, or taking yourself to the museum, or trying out new food. Just you allowing yourself to exist without the need to be productive. Here's what 6 months taught me. And if this resonated with you, don't just subscribe to my channel, but commit to yourself. Because this series is only going to get deeper. So hang tight, I guess. Because the next episode isn't something I've planned, but something I'm waiting to receive. See you soon.
Back into my old ways.